That's this.
So I just have to hold this here.
Yeah, you're totally good. Okay. I put yours louder than mine because I keep noticing how I'm so loud all the time. And it's both that I'm too loud in general.
Oh,
and
no.
This mic, it's like a bad combination. I should really, tell me if this is psychotic or not.
Okay. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask for that, but okay.
I think you are. Yeah. This is probably the better mic.
Okay.
But it is only on this thing that is so heavy.
Yeah.
The reason I have not given other people this mic is because I'm like, I feel that it's a burden to give. I'm like, I know that I can wait.
You know how to do. Yeah. I was gonna say, mic you had like one of those tiny little, but then it wouldn't.
I know.
Yeah.
I need a whole. It's like then you need a whole infrastructure. Yeah. All of these things you need like a whole infrastructure for.
And then you probably need a person to put that together.
And there are things that I've tried to put together, and some of them have been successful, and some of them producer Fred. Okay, he's just going over there. His new thing is sitting on all the art that I'm still trying to arrange.
And
now he knocked over the incense.
Okay.
And
we get it. Not everybody likes.
You know what's so funny? I've been thinking of actually creating a clip, as they say, of like a kind of montage clip of Fred interrupting my podcast. Of the producer Fred, and he's just.
It's kind of fascinating to watch him just sort of live.
Because he's an explorer.
As if he doesn't live here. That's the thing. I'm like, I'm discovering the room through his eyes, but he is not a guest in his own home, and I am. And I'm like, I didn't notice that painting before. Thanks for pointing it out.
And exactly that, because he also discovers things in a delayed way. I've seen that. And this actually is opening me up so many. This is beautiful about life, right? He could live here for 6 months. Here we are living.
Yeah.
A lot of things have changed, sure. There's one thing that hasn't changed. There's been one constant. There has been a fridge there. That's been there the whole time.
Which is apparently huge in LA because not always.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That was the thing I found out when I moved from New York. Not every apartment comes with a fridge. There would be a
Good
gap.
luck.
Yeah. No, like there would literally be a gap, and the guy was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, so when does the fridge come? And
when does the fridge arrive?
Yeah. And he just goes, oh, it doesn't. And I was like, is that a joke? Like, are we being funny?
Yeah, are we doing a kooky little fun
calibrate,
thing?
Like mentally,
right? You're already making me pay so much money to even be here to breathe in this space in here.
It doesn't come with a fridge, and it truly was the case.
That's wild.
50% of the apartments.
The things that just they are doing, and they're saying, yes, this is how it is, and deal. Yeah. Oh, ridiculous. Well, I was blessed. No, I mean, I think I had good housing karma with this place because of all of the bad housing karma I had of the years prior, you know, like I put in my time, I put in my work, you know, all different types of bad stuff going on in different apartments, you know. But yeah, so there has been a fridge there this whole time. Recently he discovered, oh, wait a minute, I could go on top. He said, wait a minute, actually I can actually go on top and see the world from above.
And where does he get to it
from the counter? Because you think I could get him to not be on the counter? No, he's from the streets. He's ungovernable. Okay. Like as we all should be. Frankly, he teaches me a lot about boundaries and freedom.
And that he doesn't have any?
Yeah. I mean, he's good at setting them, I will say. Oh, sure. Like if he's tired of what I'm doing, he's going to tell me. Yeah. You've been in bed too long? Get up. This morning, did I have to be up at like 6:47? No. But he said, look at the beautiful sunrise. Frankly, and the sun was beautiful. Okay. I'm going to play a song.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you. Look at you living in the moment. Smell the roses.
He's really doing that. And if you're coming here, you're saying, Rebecca, you just started talking without an incredible intro song. So this is what I've been doing. I do an intro song like I'm a DJ. I say, by the way, this isn't a great, and this is how I'm introducing. Okay, wait, let's go back. Let's go back. We have to start.
Hold on. Yes. What am I supposed to be?
Nothing.
I'm just listening
to
this?
Yes, okay. We're just here and I'm playing the song for the people. This was how it was going to start.
This is your intro song? Or
this is not my... this is a song.
You're just DJing.
Exactly. I'm just DJing.
So we're the radio now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely. Exactly. I'm the radio now because sometimes you have so many good songs that you're like, I love this song. Yeah. And if you're a girl like me... You want to share.
Sure.
And what am I gonna do? Play my sing song that I've played. Joyce, No disrespect. Joyce Manor's Falling in Love Again. Yeah. And I got and they're friends. Yeah, they're friends. I got the approval. Okay. I was doing that for all of those years. And now I said, you know what? Variety is actually the spice of life, baby. And so I'm going to play you this song right now. And then the thing is when I edit it, it comes not from the laptop. When I edit it, it sounds like, whoa, we're in the radio.
Okay.
You know?
So do you want me to react? Like
no, you don't have to
react. Okay.
You can react. You can groove. I think I know how you're gonna react. Okay. Which is moving. Okay. And this is what I do. I sing over it all because I can't not. Hi. Yeah. Hello.
You know all the words.
Welcome. To Classroom Crush.
Yes.
My name's Rebecca. You're saying, what's this amazing song?
It's okay.
Wait for it. Okay.
Yeah, let's get those.
There's a reason I choose every song that I choose, by the way.
This one was specially chosen
for the reason of. Okay. This is Ebo Taylor.
Okay.
Love and Death. My God, what a great song. Love
Erica's
and Death.
Coming and we're going to go to Love and Death.
Brothers and sisters.
See, the thing is, Love and Death, because why? Spring.
Yeah, okay.
You see
I made it personal because that's what we do.
Exactly. Of Love and Death, you know, like okay, here's the thing. We are actually in springtime and then it's going to be like an absolutely gorgeous fade out, even though I always want to play the song for the whole time. It's a really good song, and that's the thing I said. An earlier version of me gatekeeps all of my incredible taste, and this version of me says share abundance. Yeah. Everyone should have access to Ebo Taylor's Love and Death if they didn't before. I didn't invent this. He did. Yeah. But the song's so beautiful. It reminds me of spring. And here we are. Spring has sprung. Spring equinox. Okay. The full moon is upon us. I'm getting into all this, Erica. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
And I spoiled
got
it with
you,
your
girl.
No,
I got you.
Actually, I will say it's a reverse. I got LA before I got here.
You
did? I wasn't LA before. I used to joke about astrology and saying you're dumb. And then just the right spiciest little life type of events occur that make you say, what if we just go with the damn flow?
And this is before you moved here.
Yes, this happened.
I want to be clear, no judgment, super tolerant. I also just have to laugh.
No, you have to laugh. Yeah. I'm laughing all the time. Okay. I'm laughing all the time at the ways of contradictions and the ways that we can grow and learn and change and be actually what we might have joked and laughed about before, you know?
And I've taken workshops and stuff. I just, but I can I tell you for sure what my sign even is? No. Or what the characteristics are? No.
And I
think whatever works.
And exactly.
For me, Esther Perel works. That's my astrology.
And for some people, it's Esther Perel. Yeah. And for some, I'm just kind of like, did you know that there's a woman's face in the moon? Like, have you looked at the moon and you've seen there's a woman's face actually in the moon?
Wow.
Like, I'm looking at
the future is female.
and we're taking it out of this world. Okay. This was crazy. I was actually looking at the moon with my binocular. I said, what the heck? Is that a woman's face? And then I said, am I freaking high as hell with the Google woman's face on moon?
Oh, I thought
other people have seen
Googling
it.
If you're high as hell.
Am I high as hell? Woman's face on moon? Report. Anybody know?
Yeah.
Google told me. Others have seen. They've known. And it's connected. Wow. It's nice to be connected to it, something like that, you know? The other thing about that song, Love and Death, is spring, is what I was saying already. And doesn't it sound like the flowers? Are you looking around and walking around LA and looking at these flowers? Because, oh my God.
They are really, it's truly, I will say 100% truly beautiful.
It's taking my breath away every time.
Yeah, there's a tree outside of my apartment building right now that has these like fuzzy, they look like little like pom-pom flowers. They're pink, but they're sort of long, but they're like little
they're like the little caterpillar fuzzies.
Yeah.
Love this.
Really pretty.
And
love it.
And it's making, is it making you want to fall in love? And I'll introduce you actually before you answer that.
You'll introduce me to
the podcast.
Oh,
no, the
my
podcast.
God. I was like, just making you want to fall in love because I'll introduce you. Because there's actually someone in my bedroom that's been hiding this whole time.
I've actually been tricking you. The podcast was actually a blind date. Wait.
So
there are issues of consent upon that, which I would not do to anyone because I'm thinking about consent as we all should every day.
The craziest thing.
Boundaries would be insane, but we'll get into it. Okay, if you're saying who's this absolutely grounded woman? Who's this absolutely grounded, gorgeous?
I've never been described that way before.
And you come on
grounded,
here and look at who you get to be. We all need a foil, you know what I mean? And I feel that we relate, but I also am finding in the ways in which we can compliment and foil. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In the way that you are actually bringing me to earth.
I've never just truly by looking into your eyes. This is incredible. This is a situation where now I'm the
I know that because we've interacted outside of this.
Yeah, and you're like,
and we both would say have not chill, but I guess I'm calling you grounded for the simple fact of you're not into astrology, which that can be the bar. Sometimes that could be the standard of grounded or not.
I'm also giving off like slight food coma energy right now because I did stuff my face with a rice ball and a frittata. I failed to mention that. I ate that in about 4.
The frittata was good, right?
It's so good, but you can't eat something that big that fast. So now I'm like, hello.
But she's going to show us how she can actually get through this. She's been eating some rice balls, some frittatas. She's been also... when you're thinking about it, making you laugh, okay?
Not me interrupting your intro. You're like, I am trying to do my podcast, girls. Stop. It's distracting me.
We could do this for 20 minutes, definitely. I think I've done it before. But isn't that the fun podcast game? People love to stay for the long edging of the intro for the person they already know who the podcast is because they've damn clicked on it, you know?
Right.
Anyways, lost steam there. I thought I heard a buzz, and then I said, who's calling me? Is it love? Okay. She's making you laugh. She's actually making you laugh on a freaking little dang show called Jury Duty these damn days. But Jury Duty, the
company retreat.
The company
Jury
retreat. Is it Jury Duty? What's this one?
It's like Jury Duty presents company retreat.
Do you feel presented? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. No, I think it was smart to do that because it's like within that jury duty universe. Course. Obviously, it's not this time. It's not jury duty, right?
Right. Because that would be crazy. Because you
finish to know that it's the same.
Exactly. You finish the season. You say, how could they do this again? They can't, and yet they will different way.
And they did it. It was crazy.
I actually even know this girl from even before even living in LA from actually a totally different context of doing auditions with her at a talent agency I worked for.
One might say some of my most vulnerable moments for any actor. For any actors coming in and just...
But that means that I can also say with such confidence, a star. Oh. And wasn't I saying it for years? I wasn't there for years, but wasn't I saying it when we were doing tapes? I said, she's a star. She's a star. Okay, kill her. We're doing it again. She's a star. Oh. She wants to do it again, even though she's a star. I knew she was. I knew that it was only a matter of time before more and more would let into this secret. And now I'm finished introducing you. It's Erica Hernandez.
Great.
Welcome.
Locked and loaded.
Do you feel like that's you? All of it?
No, I never. Thank you for saying all those nice things, but that always feels like it's about someone else. But you know what?
But you know what? Sometimes someone else is also you. Isn't that a weird? Have you ever had an out-of-body experience?
What is this? Is this an astrology?
No.
We are all the same. It's pluribus, but real nice. Is that what that show's called? Pluribus.
And here's my problem. I stopped watching it.
Oh.
I didn't finish.
What I don't problem know. To have? I watched I got a couple episodes.
Okay, so you did the same. But you just don't consider it a problem.
So this is me watching something is never a reflection of its quality or not, because for someone who works in this industry, just historically have never watched a lot of movies and TV. I was behind as a child because my parents weren't big consumers and kind of strict about it. And then I just never caught up and never developed the habit. Like I'm just like, it's we're busy.
You're doing stuff. People. You're living life.
Yeah.
You're giving me actually gorgeous, and I like to point it out, entryway point to my podcast talking about childhood crushes and the way they inform me of the way you view love and relationships. I realized I didn't say that. I was supposed to say that during the song, but then I got distracted by spring.
As one does.
So As a child, you're not doing consuming of this type of media.
No. So my parents are not from the U.S.
Right.
First point. So like American culture,
yes.
the U.S. culture, let's say, was not super prevalent in the household. It's not like
not
they
the
were
priority.
Like, this is what we grew up with,
Yeah.
And then on top of, but my mom was also like not a fan of things that weren't age appropriate and was fairly strict around what that
is.
Meant
there religion in there a little?
Like a pretty big Catholic.
I mean, the Latinos, it always is a little bit.
Yeah,
of
but it came more from my mom. I mean, my dad prescribed, but sort of by proxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we just weren't like, I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of stuff because I wasn't old enough or whatever. But also it was like, I think harder for them to know what was appropriate given that they didn't have the cultural reference points. So then it just became even more strict. It's like, you're allowed to watch BBC. Like I grew up with like Wishbone.
Okay,
which,
go
honestly,
off.
Great.
You turned out amazing.
I mean, again,
we'll get into
it. The grounded energy is gonna just trickle off of me.
Away.
Yeah. I'll shed my real skin. I'm like,
but, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a place called Flower Mound, Texas.
Wait.
Yeah.
Flower Mound?
Flower Mound. 2 words.
And it's like I knew. Spring has sprung.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
It's all flowers. No, it's true. Flower Mound, the mound of the flower. Wow. Yes. Yeah, small town, or what's the vibe?
When I grew up, I would say small, like flowering, if you will, suburb of Dallas, and great place to raise a kid. I think at the time I grew up, it was top 5 cities to have a family.
Top 5 cities,
sure.
Yeah.
Quite boring is what that means. There's not a lot to do. You have to drive everywhere.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, we just but I think I'm like the last generation of kids that really like played outside and weren't online and just
I was gonna say there has historically been and past guest of the pod and Ada was talking about being bored in Delaware and the value of being bored and wandering around in your thoughts and your whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like the kids they don't have to be bored because of the damn phones.
They can just get sucked into that. Like I would just make up stories in my head and make up games, and I'd be like, you're riding a unicorn, and this is a huge black hole, and we're gonna jump through it and be in another universe, and that was what we did.
She's trying to escape. We'll dig into it.
I was directing playtime.
Sure, of course.
Yes, an escapist playtime. Get out of here. No, but it was. I feel lucky. I had a lot of siblings. Had a lot. I still do. I'm very blessed that they're all still present and talking to me.
That's awesome.
But one of 4, so we would just play outside. And
where are you in it?
You want to guess?
I
feel like I give off this energy.
I don't know.
I'm middle. I'm 3rd. So it's she's got mostly little sister syndrome, but just a touch of
I was going to say you could be second middle, up.
Okay, thank you. That's flattering.
That was kind of my first guess was upper middle.
As the podcast goes on, you're going to be like, nope, it's definitely down or wrong.
Sure.
She needs a little bit more validation than what that second child energy would be. Yeah.
Validation. And we'll get into it.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of kid were you?
I think a pretty big bookworm. I used to want to be Shel Silverstein. That?
Sure.
That was the goal. I would write poems for days.
That's my goal.
Yeah, I was a fan.
Yeah.
Writing all the rhymes. And
were you feeling deeply?
They weren't I would love to say that it was really profound stuff. I wrote rhymes about a pencil doing a math problem, real high concept stuff.
We have to consider the perspective of the pencil doing the problem.
That's true.
I gave all the children the benefit of the doubt of that what they're doing might be actually genius.
It could be. Now you're making me think of there was another one that was about a chain. They were all personified.
Oppression.
All of these what do they call it when an object?
Oh
is,
yeah.
Sentient objects. No.
Anamorphic.
Okay, this we're gonna cut out because this is embarrassing for both of us.
I always do it. No, it's anamorphic. It's
anamorphic.
I think it's anamorphic. I think we're gonna look at
anthropomorphic. No,
anthropomorphic.
Yeah, I was like, there's something.
What's anamorphic?
Hey Siri, what does anthropomorphic mean? What does anthropomorphic mean?
Anthropomorphic means relating to or characterized by anthropomorphism.
I'm going to kill my phone.
This is why we have to go. We can't do this anymore. No, anthropomorphic.
I think that's
right. It. And what were we saying before?
I'm so sorry. This is what happened. This is the inside of my brain. This is why I can't. Okay.
But also but I have a curiosity to know.
So it was it was an anthropomorphized chain that was going insane. And we didn't know why. It was a rhyme because chain rhymes with insane. But you know what?
Because slavery should drive you mad. Because oppression is insane.
I was wise for my age. Yes. Maybe that was but I think it was within a book about pencils doing math problems. So I can't claim that there was like a very deep, but yeah.
You're doing
solid 8 years old.
You do not want to claim the credit. And this is, and just know that this is probably very womanly of us.
Very womanly.
Yeah. Yeah. This is womanly in the sense of, this is what patriarchy has done to us. We have to doubt that what you did was genius. Any other podcasting man would say, yeah, I did that. I did that. I just have to point it out when it's happening.
A podcasting man would be taking credit for his childhood rhymes. Yeah.
If someone else was saying it was good, they say yes.
Oh, that's true. Instead of trying to pick apart.
If I said that was
instead of trying to Jenga tower the compliment, I'm like, let me pull out the brick that will make all this fall down.
Yo,
that is a skill of mine. That I will take credit for. I'm very good at that.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, we've solved it every day. Okay, so she's writing. She's a little
bookworm. Had really bad seasonal allergies. So
that really works for the vibe.
Yeah. So all my subs were playing soccer and I was not, which eventually got us into the like performance stuff. You know, because my parents were like, she must be doing something.
Else to do?
But it was very studious kid. What one may call I don't know if probably was labeled as a nerd. But I wasn't like.
You weren't self-identifying as
we're just like self-aware maybe enough to know where I fit in. Maybe I didn't fit in.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe these boxes are the problem.
That could be. Yeah. Get rid of the boxes. Hard edges. Hard to fold.
Exactly. And can we be on a pillow? Just kind of vibing out? That's kind of...
No one needs a
these days I'm wondering, can we just all hang out on a pillow and not be in boxes? Slumber party.
You heard it here first, probably, unless you've been hearing that.
Now more than ever, we need softness. Okay, were you like crushing? Were you a crushing type of child?
Okay, so this is the
podcast. This is where do you remember from the beginning?
Person would have done research, and
I told you exactly what the podcast is, and this is where we're doing it, and it's actually incredible already.
For sure. I think so. I was reading a lot of Mary Higgins Clark at way too young an age to read.
I don't even know what that is.
So my parents were like, this is where I think
no TV,
but my parents were like, of course, free autonomy in the library. And I was checking out these books that in hindsight, I'm like, they were like these murder mystery novels, definitely written at least for young adults, if not adults, and some pretty heady adult stuff happening in them.
Sure.
But I was just devouring them, voracious appetite for these novels because I also wanted to write books. And I think potentially got a little concept of like romanticism ironically from those.
Of course.
Not sure. Or Ella Enchanted, one of the two.
I mean, that's a good one as well.
Yes. But then we make it into middle school, and that is when, you start to go,
hello.
Okay, there's some cuties out here, but more. Yeah. I'm like, were they cute, or did I just want them to think I was cute?
Well, we discover all angles on the podcast. Yeah. We explore all options. It's usually a combination of both.
Yeah.
To an extent.
So, but I'm assuming probably what you want is like my unhealthiest crush.
I mean, I would say like formative, like what are the thing, like the one that really, because I know the ones that shape the thing in me that is wrong, that I have to course correct from now till forever or whatever, or just the ones that the one that you're thinking of, because it's always the one that you're thinking of.
This is where you're gonna be like, poor girl, because the one I'm thinking of, I don't even have a problem saying their name out loud because it was a celebrity. But the reason I say this is because yes, every teenage girl has that celebrity crush where they've got like a poster on their wall.
Yeah.
But what most people don't do is get so obsessive over this crush that it's not one poster. It's not two posters. It's every single cutout of
that
this
exists.
person that I can find taped to every available surface in my room. I had my light switch was covered with tiny little, like, I'd find them in magazines that friends brought over, I think, of Orlando Bloom. Loved him.
Wow. Now, I was going to say before you even said his name, but now I know his name. It's fine.
Oh, I should have had you guess.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I had no idea. I mean, I had no, but that's makes a lot of sense. But I will say something about that image. I just want to point out. I'm always talking about like perception is reality, right?
Where is this going? I can't wait. I'll buckle up.
It's not even necessarily, it's just a thought of like, I do think it's really true. So to be in a world in which your reality and you're the first thing that you wake up to see and then fall asleep to is this man. That is your reality. You are close to him.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like I was like,
it's all you see. What you see is important.
Yeah.
You know,
and he was everywhere. He was everywhere in that room. And
but is this Pirates? Is this?
It's Pirates is what like really did it for me, but also
Legolas.
Legolas is there.
Legolas. I was a Legolas girl.
Yes. Okay. But here is a bit of a confession of mine. And I think it did start then. It was like Legolas, because it was the same person and that jawline, etc. did do it for me. However, I have since discovered that I think that I'm into a bit of a swarthy look, and maybe that started then. And I learned what swarthy was because it is Pirates era Orlando Bloom.
Yeah,
that, like messy,
sweaty.
Well, we don't need the sweat.
When I think of him, and when I think of Orlando,
hasn't showered. Like, I'm not talking about the like hygiene.
But
of
when
a
I
pirate.
think of him when I think of Orlando Bloom in Pirates of the Caribbean, he's just wet. He's wet. He's wet on something. Ocean water.
Yeah, it's
sweat,
a glisten. It's a glisten of somebody who's just
he's
like rugged. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's showered. Maybe it's the glisten of the post shower. But he does have this, the somewhat unkempt hair. I'm like, do not bring me somebody with a lot of gel in their hair.
No,
I want that au natural, you know.
Okay, yeah.
A little bit of scruff, a little. So I think that was, it was doing it for me. But my brother knew about this crush, my older brother, and they're a little bit older. My older siblings, there's a bit more of a gap. And so they were right at the age where they had, because this bled into like beginning of high school.
Yeah.
They're at the age where they're at college. They have access to like research labs and stuff because that's the stuff they were doing. So my brother, for my birthday, used his lab to print out this giant like collage of Legolas pictures. And like they were just enabling this behavior.
Wow, that's really supportive. That's really funny.
It is. They were like, well, she's going all in. So
like
maybe,
that was your identity.
Or it was like maybe exposure therapy where like it was them trying to get rid of it.
Get it out.
Yeah. But it's who I was. It's all I wanted was.
Wow. What do you think initially about him? What do you like?
I loved Pirates of the Caribbean was my favorite movie.
Yeah.
For very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. And I think it just, I thought he was just this very great romantic lead and just, swashbuckling pirate.
Was he like romantic in like a similar way that you were like reading in those books? Like do you feel like there was
for sure, probably not Mary Higgins Clark because he's not like, secretly murdering people or whatever.
That one.
I need to double check. I'm not entirely, I can't remember exactly what the plot lines were, but yeah, we'll give it more of like an Ella Enchanted, just like those, the very sweet, like in comes this heroic,
right,
swashbuckling man.
Were you doing like active daydream fantasies? Like, what was your relationship to the crush of him as a figure?
Yeah, but it is a curious thing because I look back on it and I'm like, what did I want out of this?
Right.
Yeah, because I was a very like innocent, wholesome, raised girl. It's not that I was, I think my first relationship was a high school relationship, but it was it felt like an arranged marriage in the sense that it was like all these people being like, so-and-so likes you and you like them. So you guys should go to prom together.
They told you.
Yeah. And I think it was facilitated by a whole group of people that eventually
Why did they think that?
This mutual crush. why did they think?
Yeah.
Like, why did they think we liked each other?
Yeah. Or like, why was
I think that it was probably one of those things where like someone mentioned, I think this is always how it starts. It's like one camp maybe says this out loud to someone and then that gets back to the other person and then it's planted in your head. Yeah. And if you're like remotely into the idea, then you develop the crush. And then it becomes I guess I kind of... And
so you did develop the crush on him eventually.
Yeah. And we went to prom together, but I just think it's so funny because I'm like, I don't remember ever talking, and maybe I don't know if that maybe he would have a different experience, but I'm like, I don't remember talking about anything substantial or really talking. Like it just felt like this was like, you two are you'll go to prom and I'm like, I don't remember doing it. Like there was
how long was it a relationship, quote unquote?
I think for 4 months, but 2 of those months I was like out of town for the summer doing this like workshop in New York. This is towards the end of high school, but I'm like, it probably is pretty indicative of like some stunted growth in terms of relationships and communication on my part. Cause it was just like, I don't know what this is. Like, I'm not actually talking to this person in any real
You
way.
weren't like driven. Like, it wasn't a crush that was born of you that was like driving you.
Yeah. And even if it was, once I had it, like once I had the thing, I didn't know what to do with it. I was just like, oh, but I still want I want to go off and do my thing. We're supposed to enjoy each other's company. I think I like you better when you're like a poster on my wall.
Right. Exactly. Because there wasn't any tangible end goal with the Orlando Bloom of it all.
Yeah,
but would you would you like fantasize about it? Like,
I think it's like the idea of him. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, Orlando Bloom comes into my life. But saying all this out loud, I'm like, as a kid, I think in a crazy world where A, I was age appropriate, but B, that was in my life, I would not have known what to do. I would have been like, okay, now I'm bored.
You think you would get bored?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
I guess
I'm spinning out.
This is interesting because I definitely have had like big obsessive crushes like that.
Yeah.
But I usually have like,
you had a game plan,
or not a game plan, but I would have like a highly detailed sort of like fantasy sort of thing.
Of what? Like what were they?
No, I mean, I've talked about it before, but like, you know, obviously like there's the apocalypse fantasy. We're stuck in a mall together and now we have to like live.
Oh, okay.
You know, I did a whole,
you needed a terrible world ending disaster.
I think that's the way that my brain would consider this to be. Well, no, you know, that's what Anna said on her podcast, because she also had an island fantasy, and her thing was like, the island fantasy rationalizes why but her crush was like from school or whatever crush really. Yeah. She was like the plane crash, like she had a whole scenario that would justify why they both end up on the island, like crashed on the,
This is fascinating to me because I'm like, there's one of two reasons that could be the thing. Yes. Either you think that is the only circumstance under which someone will like you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's either or you're like, I need the rest of the world to end for me to get out of my own way to be able to actually be present and consider this person. It's easier because I do think that there's something that is very fun about crushes sometimes is the unattainability of them. They're not actually like a real possibility.
Right.
If it becomes a real possibility, then everything enters in where you're like, oh, but could I actually be with this person? And like, well, at least that's the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then it's not fun anymore because then it's real
now
life.
It's
and
stressful.
Now you're like, oh, did I? So I think crushes are so fun because it's just like it's a fantasy.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. I feel like I would do that with a crush to an extent. But like, especially when it was real people.
Yeah.
Like I remember hating like people flirting, especially entering like end of teens, early 20s. Like hating the idea of just like people just flirting and just like, and I'm like, why are you flirting with me? If we're not going to go on a date, if this is not for like a reason, you know what I mean? Or even like, you know, I've talked about this type of thing. No, you're literally fine. But no, like the whole thing of like like going on dates with someone and then it's like, oh, but I'm not really dating right now. And it's like, then why are we like, I think I have historically been maybe like it's a goal oriented.
Here's where we are complimenting each other, girl, because I am that person. I'm like,
you're like, no more.
This might be controversial, what I'm about to say.
No, say.
Okay. Do you want to finish?
Well, no, I will say my asterisk is looking back on many of these occasions, probably that's just the thing that people say when they're not actually like into the thing. One of so. And also
like you were saying that because you weren't actually into this person. You're like, why would you even do this? Is that what you mean?
No, I mean like me being like, oh, I've gone on dates with some, or like I went on a date with someone and then they're like, oh, like we're going to hang out again, but maybe just as friends or whatever. And then it's like, oh, because they'll say, because I just got out of a relationship. I'm not actually like really dating right now. In my mind, I'm like, okay, well, historically I was like, well, then why did we go on a fucking date?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Waste my damn time.
Yeah.
Now, more perspective, I'm like, they could have just not liked me and like said that. There's just like a myriad of reasons you could say that thing is what I'm saying that I understand more now. Because I guess I do understand that because I have done that recently.
Oh, see the tables have turned.
Where I went on a couple dates with someone and I was not feeling it. And I did get kind of busy and was sort of like, I just got a job. I got busy out of nowhere. I'm putting the dating stuff on the back burner. And he was like, cool. And I was like, cool. And I did immediately just like start going on, but on a random, like I didn't think this was going to happen. And then it's like, now I'm like, now it's a lie because I am like going on a dates with someone, and that's a whole other thing that I'm deciding how I'm talking about. So we're shifting to your perspective now.
Okay. Well, no, I think all of that is perfectly relevant to what I'm gonna say, which I don't actually think is that controversial. I think it's just hard nowadays, because I'm historically somebody who my past couple of relationships, even though one of them was like, I'll say this, I'm not going to get too much into it, but one of them was an app, and it started on an app. Yeah. But weirdly, because of context, because of pandemic, because of geographic barriers, it actually just what became a friendship. And then by the time that I met this person, we were friends. Sure. And had been for like a bit. But the other relationship was a friend well before like anything ever became romantic. And I think like there's a reason that works. Like there is this sort of, because it takes like a lot of the like almost pre-planning that happens in people's brains when they meet someone and there is this attraction, but then they're like, oh, would this work?
But
and you
what?
go from 0 to 60 and go, but what if, and I don't like this thing or whatever.
Cuckoo nuts.
Yeah. For sure.
But they're not that.
No. Incredibly grounded, and we love to
and
do
I'm
it.
just literally being the most chill girl of all time, all the time, actually.
Listen,
people don't even realize this, but it's true.
I do think that like with online dating, unfortunately, it's taken what feels like the possibility for those kinds of connections to exist.
Like ones that grow from.
Yeah, something where there is no pressure, no expectation, and best case scenario, you can be friends. Right. Because I do think it is very possible. I personally am like, there are people that I have had amazing connections with, can be very open with, all these things. Yeah. But I don't think it's a long term, like, I don't think that this is somebody that I want to build a life with necessarily for whatever reason.
There's a lot of reasons. There's so many reasons
but
that it can be.
It can truly, and I hear you saying that sometimes people, it is just a way to say, oh, I'm not interested. Yeah. But I actually think that there are plenty of times, at least in my experience, where I have felt I would genuinely want to be friends with this person. I'm not sure that there's anything romantic, but it would actually be better for me to just be able to be friends with them, because who knows? I mean, and hopefully even that is not like I just think it's, people go into it being like, oh, there's chemistry, now we must date. And like, that just feels so, I hate that. And it stresses me out because I just don't, I feel like, I don't know. It doesn't allow you to just like be and get to know somebody and just. Well,
it's an anxious attachment thing of something, you know, it's definitely like, well, guys, I thought I figured out where the ghost was, but here we are 39 minutes in and the ghost has arrived. So,
I'm figuring out how to get rid of the ghost or get into a studio that has no ghost, that's not haunted. Stay tuned.
Wait, what is?
No, not what I'm doing. I mean, what I'm doing, not what you're talking about. Like
some people might say that mine is the other end of it, which is
avoidant.
Listen,
yeah, maybe.
But I think
anxious and avoidant.
No. But we don't. We're sitting on pillows. We're not in boxes.
Exactly. No, 100%. Okay? It's all. I think it's all within the reason and the context and the experience of our lives. But like, I've definitely been thinking about it where it's like, oh yeah, okay. What if to just have fun and be doing that and not be thinking about if I'm gonna continue to be able to have the fun, you know?
Yeah.
Because there is the thing of like, I'm having so much fun. What if it is gone soon? And it's gonna be so sad when it's gone, you know? And then like that is the buzzy thing, you know? Which is definitely, I don't think healthy. I think it's trauma informed, of course. Everything is informed by trauma, because sometimes things do go, and sometimes, you know what I mean. But also like, it's definitely like an active thing to undo if that is like, I think it's a lot of people's tendencies. Automatically, which probably is mine a little bit.
Well,
you know?
But I also think we're being conditioned to be that way because it's now, it feels transactional now.
True.
Because online dating is a thing.
I'm not doing that shit like, though. No. This is my problem. This is my problem / my reward.
Oh.
Where I stopped, actually the guy that I went on a couple dates with. I feel bad because I feel like he could watch this podcast, but whatever. I'm just doing truth and honesty as in my life as always.
You're going to be honest on the podcast, but not with him.
No, I mean, I kind of was.
We'll text him after this.
I was enough.
Your due diligence.
You know.
You just tell him.
I was just like it wasn't. It's fine.
You can say that. Did you know that you can say that?
I can say that.
I've done it once and it felt horrible. And then he responded like, I think people also appreciate not being in like a vague purgatory, you know?
I know. I just like literally like I went back and forth with this because I was like, truly, how much do I owe this man that I've like spent like 2 hours with or something?
Yeah.
You know, because like there are other stuff where I'm like observing the balance of things here is like, okay, there's one person who's doing a little bit more than another person, and I'm not trying to like be a ghoster or whatever, but I also know my tendency to over explain myself to like, now why am I telling you my whole life story? I don't actually have to, like, it can be that we went on like one planned date and we ran into each other another time and that was that, you know what I mean? It's okay. But that's to say that was like from an app thing. And I'm just like, it's just never me. It's never going to be for me. It's never going to, I don't translate. You don't translate. It's not going to happen. So I deleted it.
Just deleted the app in order to avoid the potential conflict with this one person.
No. I had deleted it before and then ran into him in real life and was like, oh, that guy's hot. Like I remember matching with him or whatever. And then I was like, what's up? And then we like had a date. And now I'm talking about this whole thing.
Wait, but this was, and you messaged him on, you were still
no, because I had deactivated the app.
Look, but that's all I've wanted.
What?
To happen.
What do you mean?
I told you about my idea.
Oh, wait. Okay, let's run it back. Back.
Before we run it back, I just need to admit, because I feel so grossed out by this. There was like a thing on my nail, and I was like, oh, it's old nail polish, and I was scraping it off, and then I remembered I didn't do my nails. Polish. It's just a piece of hardened cheese from that rice ball.
From the rice ball.
And I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to confess that.
Thank you so much for people have been zooming in. What is she doing?
Scraping my nail, and then I put it on my leg, and it just.
And then you said, cheese parmesan. No.
Fred will find it later. Fred's not interested.
He's
sleeping
over
on a picture frame.
He's always doing this.
Likes a firm.
He likes to be on top of stuff that is mine. He will sleep on top of
uncomfortable.
it. It's very weird.
Wow.
But I think it's that he's obsessed with me. He's really kind of is. Anyways,
set some boundaries with him. Okay,
your thing about let's go. Yeah, get into it.
Well, as you know, because I told this to you in a way less grounded a moment.
We were having a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was I think everything that we were giving off was not chill. The opposite of chill on that
outside the UCB.
Just, I don't know. It was, I think also the problem was I had just been reading the email that I'm backing up.
Yeah, get into
to get
beginning, middle, end.
So I had gotten back on the apps, and it's difficult for me. Like I think it's a really hard way to like meet people. It's also, I think in general for women, a little overstimulating. Yeah. There's like I think that is somewhat of a gendered thing sometimes, but regardless, I think it's just like, it's not what do they call it? Like the paralysis of choice or something, just knowing that there's always more things to swipe through.
And it's gamified in that way.
Yeah, you don't really like just sit down and do the work with one person, because then you're like, oh, but this match or what, it just starts to be very blech. And I was like, I hate this, and I also don't have time for it. Like, there's a lot, because people, you have to spend time messaging back and forth on the app, but then you have to meet up in person to even see if it's a thing. It's just, there's so many, like, whereas I think back in the day, maybe I'm romanticizing this a little bit, but people would just sort of meet in person, and you jumped through like a few of those hoops already, because you already are seeing them. Right. You're probably meeting them in their actual atmosphere. They're not like putting on a show. You like see them, I don't know,
they're just being themselves,
coffee shop or around their friends, and you run into them or meet through mutual. Like, there's already a little bit of just some environmental, let's say, vetting that happens, and then naturally, if you strike up a conversation and there's a little bit of something, you can follow that thread. It still doesn't fix for my issue around like, can everybody just be friends first? But in a way it could, because you could just be, maybe you both have like a similar activity that you're
engaging. Yeah.
But where you're going to be like, Erica, this is hypocritical, because now you're saying everybody should put, so I was just like, I don't like this. And nobody has time for this. And I was seeing a whole bunch of profiles where they would take the time to answer one, if not two of the profile prompts with, we all hate this app. I want to get off this app. Like, it would be like my dream.
I think a lot of them are saying that.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of them are like, don't know how to actually talk to a woman in real life, but go on.
Yeah. But I was like, okay, so we're all collectively a little bit miserable. And so I thought for more than a hot second, I go, there's gotta be a way to fix this. I went, there has to be a solution for this. And in my head, I went, okay, in the real world, I've heard that like swingers have a symbol, right? They got the pineapple, they got flamingos in their front yard, whatever. I go, why, at my age, it becomes a lot more difficult to either be approached or approach someone in public, because they, you don't, even if there's not a ring, which would be the symbol.
Sure, and I'm always looking.
Right, but even if they don't have that, there could be a long relationship. You never know.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, what if we all came from an innocuous place? Okay, what if we all had a symbol out, and that we just
a symbol,
just that we had that says I'm single, just out in the wild. And then if you see someone and they've got this little thing, my pitch was an orange bracelet, because I was like, live strong. Let's popularize that more. Which is really
giving, like, there was a time of bracelets for the children, meaning different sort of sexual things. That was a thing.
Was it?
I think that was a thing.
Since I started talking about this, people were like, there's also symbols in forest. Like, apparently which is confusing to me, because I'm like, I thought that was a swinger thing. But apparently if you put a pineapple in your grocery cart while you're shopping in a certain way or something like that.
Okay, this is not common knowledge.
Whatever
this is.
That makes sense.
That you're down to F?
Or just that you're like looking.
Fuck it up.
Looking for a partner.
With the pineapple upside down.
Anyway,
spiky.
I messaged everybody on the app.
She messaged everybody.
Well, you know how you can have like a message pop up if someone matches with you? Mm-hmm. I put it there, and I basically said that idea. And appropriately, most people were like, the fuck? Some of them thought that I was saying that they just needed to walk around and look for me with an orange bracelet on. Like, I'm not going to respond to you, but I'll just be walking around with an orange bracelet, which is not what I meant.
Right.
of course, I told this to friends. Most of them, I had a friend say, and I quote, "You need to be institutionalized." To which I said,
"Sure,
okay."
Sure.
I was like, "You've been married for a long time."
That's what a reaction from someone in such a different type of place. Okay, you know,
easy for you to say. No, it is a crazy idea. I think my feedback was coming from a lot of places of Erica. We understand why, but also like this rollout is insane for you to just. And I go, that's fair, but I just I was busy and I was overwhelmed.
Where are they getting the bracelets?
Everyone thought that I was trying to start a business.
Because that's the thing. It sounds like
which I said no. I'm like, I am not interested in making bracelets nor selling them. That is not. I do not have an entrepreneurial
but you present the question of
bone in my body.
Someone must acquire orange bracelet.
Yeah,
if they believe in love.
You know what I did? I bought a spool of ribbon, orange ribbon online. For a second, I was like, maybe I can make this happen. I'll just hand them out. I don't know what I was thinking.
I think we can do it. And then my friends thought
it was funny, and they started, and no one is gonna wear this. Also, ribbon.
We're gonna change LA,
so it just falls off.
That's true. We'll just get a sturdier one. Oh. Now, I will say that since saying this idea out loud, and maybe they're listening, I have seen. Recently, I saw an ad for now check this out, capitalism at its finest, utilizing pretty much this exact like idea for a water bottle. It's a water bottle. It's a water bottle company that if you have the water bottle, you're single. And it's like, ooh, you got that water bottle? Me too. I'm single.
It's like a reusable water bottle?
Yeah, it's like one of your, like a water bottle.
I mean, environmental benefits.
And it's like, and the ad is like people like walking in a park and then they both notice that they have each of the water bottle. And they're like, you have the water bottle? And they're like, oh, want to take a walk? And then they walk away with
Wait, this is the commercial for
That's literally the commercial that I saw on my phone.
You know what? Maybe that was my fault for not thinking of a more...
You were having a the mechanism is different, but
I also wanted someone else. This is the thing. Everyone was like, "Okay, Erica, but you have to actually do certain things to roll out." And I said, "I don't want this responsibility.
I don't want to be a business owner.
I'm an ideas person."
Exactly, same girl. And then that way we're the same. We're similar. Yeah.
I was like, "This is not. I can't."
But your heart drove you to this idea.
I think my heart, or maybe just frustration. Which I think is something I'm sure everybody can empathize with. You spend enough time on that app.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be much time for it to be enough time, but you spend time on that app and you go, there's got to be another way.
So
and that's where it came from.
There's definitely has to be another way. I will say, I think that the better dates that I've gone on that in the last, 6 months have been not through, the app, obviously, but also very specifically because I whatever, I'm talking about energy, but I deleted, deleting the app, not, because I used to have it just on my phone and just not be using it. I wasn't I never had enough even nice dates for me to be that in deep on it or whatever. But when I would be on it, I'd be on it, Mm-hmm. But yeah, once I deleted it from my phone and I was just that's not even an option. Energetically, it's not even taking up space in my life, the idea of doing it that way.
Yeah.
And then I sort of started to more where I was I have a crush on this person.
Be a little
I'm
bolder.
Gonna see. Yeah. I'm
that's great.
And it's definitely been scary, but better.
I think that
reaping the
Think
rewards.
people want that. I think maybe that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But I was hiding behind the,
Are you afraid? How do you feel about approaching people?
I've done it before.
Yeah.
But I was maybe at a different point in my life. And then I think the thing is, the older I've gotten, the more I feel a little bit of this thing I was talking about earlier, where it's I just really want to be able to connect with people without the pressure of it suddenly being a thing that might be romantic or whatever. It just, I think it's easier for me to get to know people without that.
Yeah.
That said, I think I was definitely somewhere in my 20s, maybe between two relationships at this point in New York where I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And New York, I think, is also different. I think people
It's
do
very
approach.
different.
Yeah. I think the swarms of people, like, I think it just feels.
You're seeing all those beautiful people around. They're around.
And, like, I don't think people, I don't know. In New York, people approach each other all the time. Sometimes the response is
people don't
rude.
smile back at me here when I smile and say hi to them on the street. Frankly,
LA
or they're like shocked. They're like, "What do I do with this?" Because I was like, "Hi."
Yeah, LA is.
We're gonna change it.
That's a whole other topic we can get into. But
Yeah.
I very much miss New York. But I was on the subway. And I used to bike everywhere. And so I always had my helmet with me. But this was one of those trips where it was like too long. I'll take the subway. And so I had my little bike helmet. But I noticed this other guy get on with like these cool, like sort of biker, sporty skater shoes. I don't know.
Biker, sporty skater shoes.
You know where you like notice the shoes and then you look up and you're like, that's an attractive human being.
Of course.
And so I saw him. Like it was one of those things where I couldn't tell whether we had that.
You're looking.
That moment where you both kind of notice each other, but then I was like peripherally just like giving a little like look-see every now and then, peeking a glance.
Yeah.
And I remember there was someone asking for help on the subway, and both of us contributed a little bit.
Look for the helpers.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where it was like, you know, to be totally honest, that happens all the time in New York, and sometimes you are judicious about when you give. And in that moment, I think if I'm being honest, partially I was like, is this guy gonna give? Like it was very much like you're just testing your surroundings.
Yeah.
I hate admitting that, but it is, I think in the moment it was true.
No, I mean,
anyway,
see people how they are in their life.
Trying to just gauge the situation. And then he was very beautiful. And I just kind of, I started shaking because I was like, I'm going to do this. I have to just be brave. Like this, because in my head, I was like, this is no different than the apps. I'm basing this entirely off of just like what I see. I don't know this person. So why is this any?
You've swiped.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all I'm doing. And so I had some audition sides with me. So I had paper, but I couldn't find a pen. I only had a highlighter. So I ripped off a corner of my audition sides and in highlighter wrote, I don't know if you're single, but, and then I just wrote my phone number because that's all that I had. Like I didn't rip off a big enough piece of paper to write with highlighter. So I write this. By this point, like my heart is in my throat.
It's very scary.
Like choking on my internal organs, just like and like shaking. My stop was next. I get up and I'm like he was sitting right next to the doors where they were opening, and he was in that sort of corner seat where it's right there. And as I get up, I look at him and I just go, here you go. And just like threw the note on his lap, and he goes, what? And I was like, that's for you, bye. and just bolted out of the subway. And I literally think I was close to hyperventilating,
absolutely,
as one does.
Just literally leapt off a building. You're like,
I was so terrified.
Yeah.
And then I got a text from him. And we did meet up, and it wasn't a great date. It wasn't a match, but I was
but look at that,
proud of myself for putting myself out there. It was
that's beautiful. No, I think that is what I'm learning, is that it's like more times than not, it does not end in disaster. You know what I mean? And it's like
the worst that could happen is that they go, well, actually, I don't know if this is the worst. The worst that
I mean, as a woman, the worst there's a lot of worse that can happen.
The second worst that can happen is just that they go, oh, sorry, I'm married or whatever. I think the worst that could happen is that they don't say that. They go, oh, yeah, they meet up with you, and then you find out that they are married or something. So that would probably be the worst.
That's not.
And that would be bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is like, what's funny is that same shit. I mean, on the app, like I'll never forget. I love to tell my favorite Bumble story of like the only Bumble date I ever went on. My second month in New York was with this guy. I mean, I'm 22, he's 32. You know the vibes. British guy in New York for the summer. A writer slapped me in the face when we hook up. Slapped me in the face.
Wait, while you were?
Yeah, like we were making out. Slap me in the face.
As you're making out?
Yeah, like as like a kinky like.
He was like, kissing is boring.
Pretty much, yeah.
What?
Like you just never know what they're gonna do out here.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like,
I've had a couple stories like that where it's like the date is going so well and you're like, so far everything is aligning. And we had a good time. That's why we were making out. And when sometimes, and I usually don't, like, again, because I move.
Are you going so slow?
I move like,
how
not
slow?
Not even slow. It's like backwards slow. It's like she ain't even progressing. She's like, let's
wait, okay, and we're gonna.
No, that's
do
what
this.
I mean. I'm like, no. You want to start here with the like, oh, we're going on a date, and I'm like, let's not even call it a date.
Right.
We're just friends.
You're not even trying to call it a date.
Yeah.
Why can't we call it a date?
I mean, we can't, obviously.
I know that we can.
Yes. I just think, again, it's like, what's
the pressure for you? Like, where do you feel like it's coming from?
I mean, there is a little bit of just this. I have a great fear of leading people on, and I think sometimes
have you done it before by accident?
I think so, because it's
in your youth,
friendliness, in general, like friendliness can be misinterpreted.
Me and Ashley Way were talking about this. When you're a charismatic woman, you look someone in their eyes, they don't know how to handle that. They think you're their wife.
It's like, but again, if the guise of the whole interaction is yes, we met on a nap, we're going on a date, all this stuff.
Sure.
There's this innate pressure that like if things feel good. And we continue seeing each other, eventually there's this commitment that happens. And to me, I go, well, I'm already thinking about that. And I'm like, I don't want to lead them there if that's not, because I can have a connection with somebody, but maybe not ultimately. But I don't want to be like continuing. I don't know.
If you know that it's not, if you don't see that it's going to be, you don't even know.
I don't know. Yeah. I think people sometimes jump to faster. I'm not, I think it's probably a much more succinct way of saying it is just, I don't move that fast.
Yeah. What has made you like with crushes before, like feel secure, and what has like made you feel like, is there something that when you're on a date that like might ease some of like what's making you feel comfortable? Like what type of person are you at least feeling like, oh, I would like to continue to do whatever this is in a low stakes sort of way?
Yeah.
You know? Who's getting the second date and the third date?
I think it's the people that are chill enough to like, I try to be more transparent about the fact that like you have to be okay with the idea of this never being anything romantic kind of thing, just for my like kind of, I'm like my own sake, but it's really like both of ours. Like, we don't want to. And I think when people go, oh yeah, that's fine. Even if they're honest and go, ultimately I'm looking for something, XYZ, but I am totally fine if this just like, ends up being a friendship. That's also great. If they seem to honestly feel that and be okay with that, then I'm like, great. And if that it's still fun to hang out, obviously if it's like I'm not having a good time with this person, then it doesn't matter. Course. But if I am and they feel amenable to that, then I go, okay.
Yeah. Is there like do you feel like there's a common thread in the people that you have found yourself having a crush on? Like, or is it different types of people?
So crush is so funny to me because again, crush does feel like, I don't know, like maybe I'm just, it just feels like far away. I'm like Orlando Bloom was my crush. Or like, I think even in more like adult years when I'm like, oh, I have a crush on this person, half the time it's like, that's never gonna happen. Right. It's just a
so
crush.
The people you've had a crush on and the people you've like, let's say dated for
been interested in, or
you feel like they're not the same.
I don't know that there's like a huge Venn on them diagram.
Because that's what. Well, I mean, this is sort of. It's not like this is sort of the podcast also where, because I've had so many people say so many different things about this very kind of thing about like.
What crush
where they
means.
where is a crush being something totally separate, and then other people where it's like, oh, did you have are you okay? Are you dying?
Just burped.
Did you burp?
Just burped like a bunch of rice ball in my face, and I was trying to like
taste
I did that
cheesy.
We shouldn't talk about that. I just was really trying not to like have it audibly come in, and then in the process of trying to keep it from being audible,
yes. Now then you choke on the burn.
It's all here.
That arancini, is that what it was? Yeah, is really paying off. I'm gonna have to go get that thing. That sounds.
It's just the gift that keeps on giving. Today.
She said she was hungry.
Hey, Erica.
This is the thing about LA, New York is no bodegas, no quick snacks on every corner. Yeah, you might roll into getting an arancini when you didn't expect,
which was also way too expensive.
Of course,
I'm like, you can't inhale food that costs that much.
Cheap arancini?
Like, who do I think I am that I ate that expensive of a thing that fast?
That's true, and it's gone. It's gone, and it'll come out your ass, unfortunately. Anyways, we were saying about crushes. You're okay. You're okay. That like there are different like mindsets around this of like, okay, like is the person that you end up falling in love with or dating or whatever, like did you have a crush on them? Was it real? Like the definition changes for everybody. I think there's a distinction,
I would say, I mean,
or I think it depends on how feelings happen to you.
Yeah,
right.
And
grow.
Because I've certainly had crushes that have developed into relationships. I won't say that that's not true, but I think. But that also felt like something that was maybe true more when I was younger.
Well, totally, yeah.
I don't know if what I've learned now that I'm more of an adult is really the best or not. But sure. I will say what it feels like I've learned is that the sort of more... There's a very different feeling, and it's very gratifying in a different way when you fall in love with somebody sort of unexpectedly, when it's something that just grows over time, that you're already close to them, that you already know them and trust them or whatever, and you don't really expect it's not somebody that you were just like, who are you immediately, but rather over time, the more you get to know them, you go, oh my God, that like I have found
that's how it moves
that
for you.
Kind of way, when it grows that way, tends to feel longer term more real to me, because it's not, I don't know.
No, totally. That makes sense. I think what do you feel like you're starting to notice when those feelings are starting to change in a relationship dynamic? Like when you are sort of like, what's making you go,
I think it's partially how you feel when you're around them, but I think it's also, to me, I mean, it's not like I have a ton of experience in this, but in the bits of history that I have, I guess I would say that it is that thing where the more you're learning about this person, the more you're discovering about them, the more you're just really liking who they are, and you go, oh, I want more of that in my life. Like,
what are those things for you?
Inspired by that, I think. I mean, this is gonna sound so like
no.
But at this age, I'm like kindness. It sounds like
dude,
hot commodity out here.
Frankly, it's true.
Yeah, I think just somebody who, and it's not. I don't mean that in a like obviously general kindness, yes, but I think somebody that really can read a room in an empathic way that makes effort to get to know people, including your friends and your community, but also is like, just like, I don't know, also like a certain level of tolerance. I just think that, I'm not going to have a great way of explaining this, because I think it's more a thing that just like, when I see it, I'm sort of like, oh, that's a like grounded human being who like isn't putting on a show. They just do care about people. I think that to me is a very attractive quality. Totally. But, obviously, like I find say smart in quotes because I think people can define that in different ways, but I obviously do think that, you know, when I find out that people really like care a lot about knowing things, but not in a arrogant way, more in a curious way. To me, I'm also like, that's really...
Dude, curiosity, I think, is like the secret sauce of like so much of life, where I do think like people who have had certain... I've had certain like fraught relationship dynamics with, like whether romantically, platonically, familially, whatever, like... I'm empathetic enough to like really try to get there and go where you are to see what's up.
Yeah.
And when I go there and I see that what's up is that actually you have no innate curiosity about whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Like I've realized that that is like actually so like a requirement for me, because it's just like, we're just at some point we're going to be hitting heads. Like it's not going to flow if you don't have a little bit of awe about all of this, like in the way that I do. Cause like, that's just how I'm guided through life. And we don't have to be the same, but I've found that a lack of curiosity is like a block. It's like a fucking wall, you know. Now I don't know what to do.
Tends to go hand in hand with empathy too, because I think if you're curious, you also want to understand why people think the way that, you know, there's a little bit more of that innate trying to.
Yeah, I think you could fake empathy to an extent. You can't fake once I get in there and find, you know, curiosity.
For sure.
So yeah, definitely that for sure. How do you feel like you like to be in relationships? Like in your dynamic, you know what I mean?
Well,
why you laugh so much?
Because I'm like, it feels like a meme where you're like, what I think I'm like, and what I want to be in relationships versus what I am.
No, but that's like, great. We can have aspirational
I think,
visions.
You know, I far be it from anyone to be like, I'm great in relationships. And I think for sure there are people who are, but I think...
But I more mean just like a dynamic. Like,
and I'm like, here's what's wrong
no,
with me.
No, I more mean like, you know, like, yeah, just like the dynamic between two people where, you know, like, do you like it's two funny people who are talking, or is it this?
I see. Okay. I think that, to me, I think some of the pinnacles of what feels like a very fun and a good relationship is people that can be in the moment, be present with each other. I love, you know, the idea of just like doing something silly, even if it's in public, just because you're moved. You hear a good song and you want to get up and dance and you don't care, and then you're both dancing in the street. Like that's not, again, I'm like,
I want it.
Look who's read way too many romance novels, but it is.
We could be dancing in the street.
Yeah, but I do say that with like a little bit of a wink, because it's like, well, also part of my cultural background is a culture where that is a little more.
Oh my god,
common, and
people are more like, open and
you hear music
dancing.
and you all of a sudden might start like there might be a couple that just start salsa dancing.
Oh
like,
yeah.
So it's like it is, and I love that stuff. I think that sometimes the hallmark is also being able to be silent together, and it's not like tense or awkward. It's just like, oh, we can be like there doesn't always have to be a conversation for this to be you know,
engaging.
But I think just, you know, I think being curious together, but also having plenty of time apart is good. I think having your own life and independence, I've learned in both easy and hard ways that it's very important to have solid friends, because those are the people that are with you forever. Yeah. And I think I am a pretty romantic person, again, having read a lot of things, having these silly crushes, these, you know, whatever. My parents met in a youth hostel. Like their story is so you can't write a movie like that. It's like both my parents and my grandparents met in ways that you would think it's a movie. Wow. And I look at that, and obviously like the child and grandchild of that, you like have these wildly romantic ideas of like, oh, this is how I could meet a future partner, but at the same time, and that they're like this person that's meant to be. I have now grown into the opinion that there is not just one person out there for you. There's no reason to have a scarcity mindset about that stuff. I think that it's very, you know, like every person that you love and that you are loved by is going to be a different, distinct thing on its own. And they're not worth comparing because each person is different. Like it all is different. And
each time in your life is different.
Yeah. And it also sometimes depends on like where you are in your life. I think that sometimes you can meet like, I don't want to say the right person, but you can meet like a good for you person at the wrong time in your life. And
the timing game is
that can
everything.
Be a thing. And I do think that this idea, like getting to that, like this idea that there's one person is also sometimes creates this idea that that one person also should fulfill so many
all
of
the
these things. Like if I'm having a bad day, or if I need this, or they should be this, and this thing, because these are all the traits I'm looking for in a partner.
Totally.
And that's intellectually, rationally, it's not
possible.
That's not possible.
Yeah.
And I think like sometimes we forget that that's where your friends come in. Like,
totally.
You know what? No, this friend is actually really much better for this moment that I'm going through than my partner.
Yes.
And I think that's okay and should be more.
This is the thing I've definitely talked about in therapy and think about a lot. Where I mean, and it applies to every relationship. Is like not. You can't expect the whole thing from every person. Yeah. But I do think like my like sort of journey is like, okay, I'm trying to actively not expect everything from XYZ person, but at the same time as I want to be able to be my full self with all of those people. Yeah. They don't all have to talk to me about this and that. Yeah. Damn, all of it's balanced. Do you feel balanced do you feel...
heard this thing. I'm like, I'm going to answer this in a circuitous way. Yes. But I heard this thing recently where it was probably like Modern Love podcast or something, where some person was on saying, you know, there's this fallacy a little bit in when people say you have to fully, or what they mean when they say you have to fully love yourself before you can love someone else, which is very true. You want to kind of know who you are. But they were saying, I think people sometimes interpret that to mean you really need to have all your shit together before you get out there. They were like, we almost never do.
Impossible. Yeah. In capitalism, impossible, frankly.
Yeah. So I think it is a little bit of that. Like, for me, balanced means like, cause no, I don't want to go into something where I need somebody. Totally. I think that to me is what it means to be balanced. Like, let me at least sort of.
That's where it goes wrong.
But that doesn't mean that you can't occasionally have moments where you're having a hard time and still dating people. And maybe it does feel,
of course,
you know, it can get a little like,
of course,
it's nebulous.
It's a journey.
But I think to me, I think what makes it balanced is being able to communicate, which sometimes I struggle. I think all of us do to some degree, but there are moments where you get so fearful of what the reaction is going to be that then you just don't communicate, and that makes it always makes it worse. Yes. And yet we don't learn.
Yes. Well, I think we don't learn because usually there's been like a lack of healing of the time that it went wrong. Yeah. You know, like collectively, so culturally, you know? Yeah. Like I do know that it's funny because this is definitely a thing that, you know, men, gendered, whatever, like post Me Too. I know that this is a thing that they're like, no, we don't go like there's at least a contingency of men that are like, we don't make I'm not making the first move anymore, or I'm not like initiating. And I do think this is probably true because I've been out in places where I'm like, I'm doing every single thing. And we keep exchanging this eye contact. And this is the like fourth day I see you at this place. And when are you going to, you know, and my thing is like, I know I can, and I do, and I have, but I don't always want to be the one because, you know, it's like exhausting. It is a thing I have to drum up, whatever, but why not you? And I was like telling someone that, and they're like, because they're scared, they're not gonna do it anymore, they're gonna, you know. And I'm like, well, there needs to be some also collective healing from all of it. Like we're not taking any of the lessons in if we're not like addressing the harm, you know, like literally, because now all we're doing is just being even more and more. This is where Me Too, I keep talking about, I'm like Me Too, like everything that's had to do with gender-based harm in the last like 6, 8, 10 years is really not letting us be horny. And that sucks. It's like making it harder to do horniness. Am I right? Like a little bit. There's a lot of barriers. There's more barriers. There's like the way when I said that I hear it and being interpreted in the wrong way where I'm like information about consent and everything is amazing. It opens doors to do amazing, awesome stuff if you're like doing that stuff, you know. But if you're not, then you might. I think a lot of the culture has taken in. You know, all of this in a way.
I think I see what
you know
you're
what I'm saying.
Maybe that people are not necessarily being educated on how to still have very fun, exploratory experiences with just like a modicum more of communication because we haven't been taught to communicate, so we didn't get that teaching part of it, and now
we just got the scary part of it.
Yeah, and now everyone's just sure. I think I can see that being true
to an extent.
I think, in general, I think we just like. I mean. And I say this as somebody who's also been reactive before. I think you just have to learn how to like depersonalize a little bit when people say how they feel, that it's not immediately an attack on you or that you did something wrong, that it might just be like, okay, actually find the favor in it. Like, thank you for being, wouldn't you rather always than be honest? Totally. But yet we start, and I say this as somebody who's so like guilty of this too, that you find a way to immediately go, well, I messed up and this is now this person is saying that they don't, this must mean so many negative things about me, when really it's just somebody communicating and how they feel.
Well, it's funny, you like my therapist has talked about like there is a thing of like bringing the moral, like having some sort of like a moral idea of like what you're doing and how you're acting being right or wrong, and like how, you know, frankly damaging that can be, like on the intro, like when you get so deep inside, when it's in you where you're like, I am bad because I didn't do this or that, you know, and it's like that is actually not helping anyone either.
Yeah,
you
when
know?
you start defining yourself by mistakes.
Yeah.
Because you can't. I mean, that's I think the bigger picture.
It's like
we're all
grace.
human.
Yeah.
We all and but it's I worry partially too, and this is me. Just I'm
hey
fully talking out of my.
We're all talking,
but like, I think I get worried with the many amazing innovations that are happening in technology too, that there is like I as somebody who also had to, because it's not that, you know, I wouldn't say that I necessarily grew up seeing like amazing examples of communication per se, but then as much as I would like to think that like I've made strides in that direction, now I feel like we're all backpedaling a little bit because we spend so much time online. We spend so much, like, we're not doing, it just feels like so much has gone digital, and half of the conversations I feel like I have sometimes are referential to things that we're seeing on TikTok or whatever. And I'm like, I'm an old soul. I struggle to be remotely savvy about that stuff. And I don't, I
do think we're turning the corner. I think it's starting to crack. I think I have two things that reminded me of. One, have you noticed that people don't be knocking on the bathroom door and responding? Like, I've noticed this in younger people. Like, there's such a weird like lack of confrontation. I'll be at a place,
like in a public restroom.
Yeah, in a public restaurant where I'm like, we're all standing in this line for damn near 10 minutes because we all thought the first person knocked on the or checked or whatever.
That has happened to me a couple times. Yeah.
I've noticed this recently. I noticed this in LA.
Yeah.
I think it's young people who are maybe like 20 now, 21 now, and then whatever. But it's like such a funny, I think about it all the time, like this microcosm of like, because I've seen it multiple times where it's like, oh, oops. It's like, what did you think?
Yeah.
That we were gonna find out a truth without confronting it, without knocking on the door or whatever.
A little bit of interaction.
So I've seen that, which is scary. But I have also seen lots of people getting into little groups and doing coloring and stuff like that. Like
I
think there's a funny thing that's happening that's an intersection of the internet and real life right now that I've noticed recently of like things online turning into like real life trends that we can, you know, think about. That's a weird way of that to come about. But the fact that it does come about, like my cousins had like a wig party for someone's birthday that I'd never heard of, which was just like everyone was just wearing funny wigs like at a restaurant. And that was like funny. And like, you know, people are like doing like, I think there are trends that are like wanting people to be engaged outside, and people are, I think it's, you know, all of this needs to have a fucking collapse in the end, right? Like there's no way it can keep, you know, there's gonna people who are gonna go Wally World and they're just gonna be on their chair like this. And I do really want a podcast like this every time, but I don't in my reclined.
Why haven't you the
I don't know.
that you've had?
I really literally have bad knees, and this is the better way for me.
I don't know what to tell you. It sounds like you have the answers within you and you're choosing to be.
No, it's because this is Wally mode. This is me. I'm passing through life passively. Like I'm one of those people in Wally.
Okay.
You know, but here I'm engaged. Okay,
I see. You're
for my true podcast,
the chair.
Yeah, for my true podcast listeners who are audio only, you know, I got a recliner. Okay.
For visual.
Yeah, for
those not experiencing in the visual.
This incredible palm tree recliner chair.
Yeah, there's a big old recliner. She just did recline in it, and it looked very comfortable.
Anyways, all that's to say, I think it's about to break, and I think like more and more people do want like what you're talking about and we're talking about. I think they're just like so scared, though.
It is, because it is scary. The less time that you spend. I mean, as somebody who's not always, I think I vacillate between extrovert and introvert, and there are moments where I don't have the social battery for this, and you really have, it feels like extra work to sort of be engaged, but it's still, to me, so I do well with smaller groups, let's say like 6 or less.
Totally.
Big old house party, I'm like, I want to hide.
You find your one person.
I'll be by the snack table. I'll just continuously have my mouth full of food so that I don't have to talk.
Sorry.
You tried the dip. It's really
exactly.
Gives you an immediate
okay, I'm hungry for dip now.
I want
a little broccoli and dip.
But I think like, I don't know. I think that, I think people.
I think that brave people are going to be the ones to usher in a bigger cultural shift with like, you know, being in person, and that's just to say that you and me have to continue to be brave, because I think you can be brave.
That could be brave. I couldn't.
You know, I think you're doing it all the time.
Everything that I've said so far has been paper. Hold on.
You think I have it in shaky hands written my phone number on a piece of paper in my notebook that I slashed out? You know, we have to do it more.
That girl was brave. That girl was brave.
But this is where, because I've done things like that. Yeah. But when I was definitely younger,
right? You have this like misplaced sense of confidence.
But that's the thing. I don't think I had misplaced sense of. I was fearless, but I had zero confidence. I was totally insecure.
Yeah.
So now that I'm you Arancini's in the chat. You're never gonna forget her.
It was like a 2 for 2. Like it came out and I was like, stop it. And then like
piece of rice is like
out of my throat, just straight into the microphone. Thank God we don't have headphones on, otherwise I'd be like, Raga, no, I have to go. Oh my God.
I think this is what the people came here for.
Children, this is what happens when you don't eat breakfast and then you realize you're hungry.
You went that way. I went. Oh, no, there are some freaks on here who are loving it. They're like, yes, ASMR. More of this. I should put it on the Patreon.
Oh my God.
But no, I was going to say, before your incredible arancini burp.
I'm over here like, I'm single because. And you're like, girl, I think we know why. Okay.
The arancini doesn't want us to know the truth. Okay. The arancini is scared of the type of truth that we're spilling on this podcast. Whenever there's an interruption, it's because they're scared of the truth. Whether it's the arancini or the government.
Right. But what do we hear in that phrase? Fear. Okay.
Fear, exactly. And we're here to tackle it. And I think the best way is, as I was going to say, taking the fearlessness of the youth, integrating it with the real confidence that has grown now. Like, like I'm 30 now, so basically everything's cured. Just kidding.
I was gonna say
everything's absolutely better. I went through the dark hell of my life, and I am so much better now, and I feel like so good about myself in a way that I definitely never have before. So I'm like, okay, to be brave and feeling okay about yourself, maybe we can make dreams come true, love and otherwise.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying you got to get on your brave bag again.
My brave bag.
Maybe not. This was the problem with the orange bracelets. Passive.
Look, she bought that spool of ribbon. Okay.
I hear you. But even in action.
No. But I think it's also, I mean,
No, but you're also, the problem is.
What I can do is scat around my.
No, but it makes sense because what you're saying is you're not going after a crush in that way, like you're doing, you know.
Yeah, I think.
Well, what do you want?
I want it to just sort of like fall into my life in a natural way where I don't even realize it, and then 2 years go by, and I'm like, I've been friends with this person forever, and whoa, now I see them in a new light.
Do you want that now? Is it on your mind? Spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm
horny?
Only ever. Oh,
sorry.
Groundhog Day. What?
Are you though? Spring is sprung. I am always horny in spring. Literally, I'm like, this shit is just science. Actually, you don't have to tell me, but I'm just putting it out there.
What is it? The woman in the moon? I don't know what's happening anymore.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's another burp. That one was silent. Good for me. Oh God. And then I said that, and then I swallowed some of my own spit and then gurgled, and like, you know what? Because we don't have headphones. I'm truly like, they probably have heard every burp, and I've been out here being like, that one was silent.
Remember, this is the heavier, better mic. This one's going to be okay.
Oh my God. Listen, do we all want, I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think
speak for yourself.
Most people.
No, what do you want?
I do want a partner in life. I think to some degree I'm still figuring out what that looks like, and I just don't, the thesis, and tie it all back, like I don't want to rush it. The thing is, like, I want it, but I don't want to need it, and I also don't want to, like, I just would rather have something that feels. You
don't want to have to think about it. You want it to just happen to you.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And because if I think about it, then I'll think myself out of it too. Like that's Do
you think you just go? You can like, is that
if
when
I
you're
feel
thinking
the
about
pressure
it,
to make a decision about something that doesn't sort of organically happen, I think what I'll do is I'll do
do you spiral like in a worst case
overthinking?
Yeah, but like are you like worst case scenario thinking? Are you it's decision paralysis? That's what it was.
It's a little bit of decision paralysis. I think it's more just like then you'll start to do a really unhelpful and unnecessary list of things in your head of like all the reasons why this wouldn't work kind of thing versus again, when things are organic, I probably at the inception could have come up with that list and jumped ship. But I think when things are organic, you move through that faster, and then, or you move not faster, but you move through that without realizing it. And then when feelings have sprung or whatever, you feel a lot more grounded and going, oh yeah, I want to try things with this person, because you were able to sort of sift through all that other stuff without the pressure of having to.
You weren't blocked by what, like all of the
potential
the
or
whatever stuff.
Which again, like this is a me thing. I'm like speaking and
everything's a you thing. Everything's an us thing.
I know that a lot of people operate very differently, and probably
we're all flowers and we're blooming.
I don't know that. I mean, but again, I think it's in the modern times, it's very complicated because it's just the older you get, the less. you're not going to, in our 20s, most of the people we met were single, kind of like it it is a different
That's what I was going to ask. Are you like putting yourself in different like environments or anything? That's like the thing.
I mean, I have hobbies and stuff, but I don't think they're the kinds of things that I also don't go into those being like, I'm going to meet, you know, because I think that can.
No, of course. The vibe is to just be doing different stuff.
I did,
you know,
accidentally go to what was not, so I was in a different city and I wanted to go salsa dancing, which is something that I do enjoy a lot. And I looked up events and there was this one that also happened to be a singles event and I was like, whatever, but hopefully like there will be, you know, maybe that is fun. Sure. That I'll do a thing I love and also see if there's
someone else loves it.
Yeah. And then
I mean,
I show up and they have different color coded name tags and you had to pick the one that was indicative of your age range, which immediately off the bat I went, I don't love this. I'm like, you're gonna make me say okay. Yeah. And so I put on the name tag and I'm walking around and seeing a lot of people with very different colored name tags walking around. And what does that mean? I felt like I was chaperoning prom.
Of course.
I truly went, there were, I would say, a good decade between me and most of the people there.
But they were younger. I thought they were gonna be older.
No, it was a very young crowd, which was surprising to me because I thought, well, you don't really need to be coming to this event.
No, but they're fucked up. It's different. Too.
And I think that when it really, the salt in the wound, I taught a couple people, so it was not people who like salsa dancing coming to this event. It was like, there's a free class. This was the hilarious sort of bit to get people in the same room, but basically no one knew how except for maybe one guy. But I was teaching a whole bunch of people trying to just be nice and very quickly felt like
you're the mom teacher. Yeah, like horrible. Not
and then I found someone who was closer to my age and was having a conversation with them, just sort of there was the person. And as I'm doing that, someone else that I had spoken to before, but who I genuinely think was maybe 20 years old, walks, little boy energy. You know what I mean? Just walks by and goes, I got a girl's number. Like telling me, like reporting back to mom kind of feeling. I did it. And helped me. Tell you, like a little part of my soul died that day. And I just went, and I think at that moment I go, I can't be here anymore.
Yeah.
And so I walked out and I found another place to go dancing and it was fine. Whatever. Yeah. But it just, I think that those kind of I've heard this thing where they go sit at a bar and just see what happens. Be a single woman at a bar. And I did that once and I overheard someone practicing what I guess was their stand-up routine from Arkansas or something.
Yeah.
On someone next to me. And I just...
No, I mean, sit alone I do that all the time. Sit alone at the bar if you just want to hear a lot of bullshit and like laugh to yourself and I have a good time. I love it, but with not because I think I'm going to talk to nobody. I don't mind going
to do things on my own, but I'm also like, I'm not a huge drinker. So then I'll be nursing like one cocktail for like 3.5 hours reading a book. And it's just, I think at that point, because I also am like, there's so many friends that I haven't seen in a while.
You're like, I could just be having fun with my friends.
I'm like, I'm doing this instead of following through on a plan that I should have been making with a friend I haven't seen in a while. That kind of stuff is hard. And I think is also why I have made no effort in what you're saying because who has the time?
So you know what? I know we've been talking about everything and I hear, and I think everything you're saying is absolutely true to you and your life. But you know what I think?
Okay, I can't wait.
I think you're gonna fall in love at first sight one day.
No,
I think it's gonna be so diametrically opposed to what you think, and you're gonna be like, obviously this isn't. And then it's gonna be like, wow, but I feel like I know this person, and you're gonna fall in love, and then you're gonna have a crazy romantic whirlwind relationship just because it's the opposite of what you're saying. That's how I feel like I think that's what life is gonna hand you. And if I'm right one day, that would be incredible. And we could just say it right here. We could
I'll come back
say it was here. It was on the record. Rebecca was right. I could also be wrong. But I think that would be a funny little twist of fate.
Listen, never say never. But,
listen, as long as there's love in the end, that's what we want. Erica.
If that's what you want, I want that for you. What am I saying?
I think I just like, I'm like,
who's your crush? Wait, what? Does anyone ever get to ask you back these things? You said that you've talked about all this, but
I talk about stuff all the time, and then I'm like, stop saying so much. Okay. So now I'm trying to not say so much.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you off mic.
Great. Okay. Because you've already told. Okay. I am understanding that you have also been hosting this for a while.
It's true. Nobody, I haven't talked about.
The balance feels very skewed, and I feel like all I did was talk about myself.
No, that's literally the podcast. But no. I mean, the last is.
Let me just burp into the microphone one more time. For good
I think that this is a type of podcast that they've never heard before. Me burping? In all of the years of my podcast.
Wait, are you serious?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what did I do?
No, just you burping. People have burped. People have done a lot of things, but there hasn't been this much arancini forward energy on the pod.
At least it's coming out of that end, okay? I said what I said.
It's really good stuff.
God.
Erica, let's wrap up with I asked you for a crush song. Do you have a song?
Not like indicative of the crush, but I think it's of that era. I just, because I immediately went when you said crush, when you said all the things, I was like, oh, we're talking 13-year-old Erica.
Yes.
In her little bedroom with the bunk bed, I should have mentioned. Covered in post-it. Yeah, I shared a room with my sister. I mean, by that point she was in college, but
yeah.
And what I was really into at the time was Evanescence.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I went through I call it a poser punk era because I was not cool enough to be.
You recognize you weren't actually a punk?
Not at all.
Okay.
I wore like the one black shirt I had, which had like lace and was crocheted. Actually, now thinking about it, I'm like, I want that shirt again.
That was a good shirt. It's coming back, the style.
Weird, I don't know how to explain it, but I wore a lot of eyeliner and tried to straighten my hair, but I didn't have a good, it just was.
Yeah.
She tried. But I did love Evanescence.
Bring Me to Life. We talking My Immortal.
I mean, all of them, but Bring Me to Life was like the.
I'll just make my life easier, and I'm playing it under here, and we're saying Bring Me to Life. Yeah. Wow.
She was in high school choir, and you can tell.
And you know what? I'll literally never forget. One time listening to my iPod, listening to Evanescence, I'm low-key singing to myself in aftercare. One of my friends says, "You sound just like Amy Lee." I'm crying. I'm literally crying. It's the best compliment I've ever received. I'm like, yeah.
Wait,
thanks
do
for saying
it.
that.
Do it for real.
No.
Close your eyes. Pretend I'm not here. Recline in your chair. No, come on.
In my chair. What?
I'll
sing for you?
Yeah, sing the.
No, singing is my onest. I think it's my biggest anxiety these days. If not
you
on
literally
purpose.
Just gave me a lecture on being brave and
no, but not for singing on my podcast. I sing on my podcast. People have heard it, here and there. And frankly, I did not sound like Amy Lee. Let's be real. But I was just like, sometimes you gotta try to belt it. See, this is why I can't do the podcast like this because I'll get way too comfortable.
But you're also doing that. What do they call it? Like because you're talking about singing, which you clearly don't want to do. You're getting in the fetal position.
You're analyzing my body language. Okay, she clocked me.
I've been doing it too this whole time. She burped and now her knees up to her chin.
We're here. We're just two anxious girlies with a lot to love.
This podcast, and you're like, you're giving off grounded energy. I've gotten lower in this chair the entire. I'm like to here now.
No, we're butterflies. We're spreading our wings in the spring.
Listen, everything is part.
Everything else.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
And everything is beautiful, by the way. Erica, thanks for coming on my podcast.
This is where I really hope the people that aren't watching this can just understand that the face I made was, I know what I was. We know.
We all know.
We've
been honest and true.
I am sorry.
There is never anything to apologize for when you're being honest and true and you're not harming others, which we're not doing. Okay. We haven't harmed others once. I wouldn't say that we've harmed.
I don't know. There might be people who can't hear a burp that close up. I don't know.
Well,
Whatever.
then they know. Then we've done them a favor to know that this podcast, you might hear a burp here and there, and it might not be for you. And if you can't listen, that's okay.
Yeah,
I care about you and your safety. Yeah. And on that note,
everyone,
Erica,
if you need to get tested for SIBO, do it.
Okay, go off. What else would you like to plug besides that?
Listen, some of us have been through that whole rigmarole, and then we did nothing with that information.
Okay,
cute. And then we eat rice balls and burp for 8 hours.
Yum.
What do we want to plug? Well, if you haven't watch Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat, definitely check it out.
Hello, and you're not, and you're my second Jury Duty alum because I had David Brown.
Who?
David Brown from season 1. The sweetest
Chair
boy.
Pants.
Sweetest boy. Chair Pants.
The best.
Where else could they find you?
I dabble around here and there.
She's here and there.
Just look at Instagram, I guess.
I
meant to. You were talking about that specifically,
yes,
and I'm like, well,
well,
if you want to see shows that I'm doing, then check out Instagram. The Instagram is Erica.Hernz without some of those vowels because the other one was taken. HERNDZ, and
come to the shows. Do the laughing.
Come to the shows. Give a good laugh.
If you've listened,
and you know what? Be kind. Let's plug being kind.
Be kind.
Yeah.
And look at my cat right now. He's being really cute. If you listened and you're in love with Erica now, take it easy. Okay. No agendas. Take it easy. You know the blueprint. The end.
You know the blueprint is happening.